Hello, 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 and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday, and interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox. Sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, that guy, James J., alongside the leader of Squaw Squad, Kaliko Yachts, and the American Scooter Dust.
Somebody asked me about jujitsu. They said, "Is it only available to Jews?" I slapped them.
And it was a good week for Wrestling With as we interviewed AJ Kazana and Joe Kazana on incredible interviews with a second and third generation wrestler. Um, and I can't say enough great things about both men. And just yeah, I definitely recommend checking out those interviews in the archives. Um, that being said, this upcoming Tuesday, we got Jenny Santana, the daughter of Tito Santana. She's doing incredible things in Las Vegas with UWW and Future Stars of Wrestling. She's the GM, she's doing interviews, and she's doing a hell of a lot more. And you can listen about all of that and more during that interview. And then on Wednesday, we got AJ Kazana's tag team partner and the country gentleman, um, Anthony Andrews. Incredible interview with a credible individual. We talk about winning the United States Tag Team Championships, the aftermath, and the horrible journey home that he had. Uh, we talk Jay Briscoe. We talk um, his singles career, and a hell of a lot more. Again, cannot recommend that interview enough. Check it out, and you can listen to a clip of that particular interview right now.
I'm sure I'll go over this at some point in the future, but the NWA, we had an amazing Power Live, the first one. We won the NWA U.S. Tag Team Championships, and this story hasn't been told anywhere either. I came back to Fort Worth, and what a lot of people don't know is during that time there was a freeze in Fort Worth, and Texas is not very well set up for cold weather. So I get back, I'm driving in a rental car. I get all the way back to the town that I live in, going all along. There's ice and cars all over the side of the interstate, and it's kind of crazy. But I get all the way back, and I turn onto the second to last road that I need to get home, and I go up the smallest hill to a railroad track. And it is a tiny, tiny hill. And I feel my car start sliding to the side.
Ooh.
And it gently bumps where the crossing arm, the railroad crossing arm comes down. It doesn't hit the arm, but the hill that's mounted into it bumps that, and I slide back into a hill. And I'm like, or a ditch, sorry. I'm like, oh no, I can get out of this because I've gotten out of mud and everything else. There's no damage on the car, and I start to rock back, rock forward, rock back, and rock forward. And I'm almost out of the hill, and it slides to the side and gets stuck in ice and mud. I'm like, oh, this is it. Yeah, this won't work. I can't get out of that.
Alright, and then on March 28th, we got the manager of champions, Guerrero Del Mar, and on the 29th, we have the drill Billy Silas Mason. I believe we are done putting ourselves over, no, Scooter?
I would say so.
And it's a great day for wrestling because we are wrestling with the news. It was announced earlier, I believe yesterday, that a dream match has been booked for AEW Dynamite. It will be Kenny Omega versus Hey Joe El Vikingo.
Oh God! He showed that Viking. Oh my God! Oh, I have dreamt about this ever since I was a 38-year-old man. Um. Uh. Um. Go Vikings. They could be in Minnesota.
Look, they were in Winnipeg last week.
Yes, the fake home of Chris Jericho.
In the real home of Kenny Omega. And friend of the show, Ted Von Hughes. And there could have been another friend, but, you know, we're not talking about that. Alright, and that being said, Tony Khan was, responding to critics of this dream match that nobody ever dreamt of. What is Tony Khan doing?
I
Responding to
mean,
Twitter trolls.
that's interesting logic. I mean, how do you know it's not a dream match? I mean, you gotta admire his zeal, but I mean, Tony Khan does have to deal with all the oh, what was it that Paige called them, the uh, neckbeard stinky twats?
You can't say that word, you'll get fined.
What, stinky?
Get that word out of your mouth, you disgusting bastard.
I am the king of stink. Wait,
You just got fined again. Keep up,
twats.
keep it up.
What's happening, yo?
Now, now the amount of time that he spends responding, he actually mentioned that he goes into the person that critiques AEW, looks at their history and see if they have ever said anything good about AEW. Would that time be better spent coming up with, cohesive storylines?
Oh no! I mean, come on, a petulant man-child looking up history of trolls. I mean, come on! What better way can you imagine? Spending millions of dollars.
I mean, it was a good movie. I do love my Justin Timberlake.
Well, I mean, that troll, actually sold in theaters as opposed to, uh, Revolution, which got played in like 300 theaters and averaged like 7 people per theater.
Really?
Something like that. I had a friend go to a Revolution screening in at Long Island. I asked her, okay, how many people are in the theater? She said, literally can't be any more than 10.
Well, somebody that was definitely not in the movie theater was Cody Rhodes, as he admitted that he pirated the paid preview.
Dun dun dun!
Great.
Dun dun dun!
There you go.
Well, if you played the crude sound, I didn't hear it.
I don't know why you can't hear things.
I know. I think there was just a momentary skip. Uh,
Well, it's not a good look when your former vice president is is pirating the show that he created.
I mean, I mean, hey, hell, I ain't paying $60 to watch it.
So, are you admitting that this paid preview was rated R?
Arr! And it lost its license because it was driving me nuts.
Driving AEW nuts is Soraya, don't call me Soraya, don't call me Soraya. Um, as you mentioned it, she got
Mm,
fined
mm, mm.
for a word that didn't get censored. My question is John Moxley getting fined for all of the shit and fucks and motherfuckering he's doing on AEW TV?
Just wait until next week when Rio, Sky Blue, and Will Nightingale reenact the the butt plug scenes from Paige's sex tape.
Will you stop it?
Come on, was it really a good idea to have the girl who got fucked stupid on
Will
video
you stop
with
it?
with with the gimmick of giving the finger and call people stinking neckbeard twats? Are you kidding? Like,
Well,
oh, I mean, did Tony watch it and decide, man, this is a great promotional tape?
well,
I mean, when you could say that Ruby Soho is the most wholesome out of your whole group, that's saying something.
well, you're not wrong about that. Taya Valkyrie is now all elite. I can make the argument that she didn't need to be all elite. She was all elite before she was all elite. But you know,
Uh, and they stick her, of course, in the women's mid card title feud.
true. But I mean, it's starting somewhere. I mean, obviously she's going to jump to Cargill, but I can understand why, Impact been there, done that. WWE been there, tried it. This was the only other promotion she hadn't been in. So I could respect that, but I don't see her doing. I see after the Cargill rivalry, she's going to be joining Outcast with the other
Mm.
two.
I see. I don't. That I don't think. I think she's. I think. I think they realized they've ran the. They come to the end of the road with Cargill. Um.
The Cargill has come to the end of the road.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no creative wordplay there. The having a long title run is only as good as the person who eventually takes that title. And while it probably makes the TBS title the title that currently has the most meaning in AEW, I I mean I think honestly I think Ty's going to take it, and then we'll get some new matches. What I was surprised was, I mean, let's not deny that Taya is a fan of her theme music.
I think she's always been a fan of the music.
Um, just good. I mean, I could give her, my she can all the bouncing she was doing, man. She can, mix my shake in the morning. I mean, I was worried Jade was going to get her eye poked out. Quite honestly,
Well, now we're just going into. Well, I mean, let's talk about Jake for a minute. Obviously, longest reigning champion, and you said, whoever takes it off for is going to be May. The only person I really see that being at this point is Chris Statlander.
but she's out with God knows what now.
She got re-injured.
I thought she. I haven't seen her in
She got
a
injured in
while.
June. Oh, she got injured in June of 2022. Yeah. So I mean, she should be coming back any time now. I would assume. And it seemed like the crowd was really just starting to, respond to her. But
I think I think Jamie Hayter kind of overtook that.
um, I mean, it's kind of wait and see at this point. If she comes back, and I don't know, we'll kind of see what
I mean,
direction.
I think it would make sense for if they do add a fourth person to the Outcasts that Chris Statlander be the fourth person for the originals.
That would make absolute sense.
And I think this is leading to a woman's blood and guts match.
I certainly hope not, for just the safety of honestly Soraya or Soraya. All right. Um, we don't like to talk about conspiracy theories, but former WWE referee Nick Patrick um has a conspiracy theory that Vince McMahon really runs AEW. Would it surprise you to learn Vince McMahon actually runs AEW?
It surprised me to hear this at all because I saw no reports of Nick Patrick and his conspiracy theories. Where is this? Where has that been all my life? Um, I mean, is he still angry at Chris Jericho for beating him with one hand by his back in World War 396?
I maybe that was one of the questions. I wasn't listening.
Um, I mean, do you really think Vince would allow another billionaire to take credit?
If it's competition for WWE, that's not WWE, like the whole SmackDown versus Raw thing, then
Yeah,
maybe.
but no, but that was within the company he owned. I'm saying, do you really think Vince would? I mean, and if he's keeping a secret, then it's 100% illegal. Uh, um, but somebody by now would have found some sort of paperwork linking him to it.
Well, I mean, it is a a privately owned company, so I mean, those documents don't necessarily have to be leaked.
Yes, but financial information does. Financial information does have to is public.
Okay. And we are being joined by Khalifa Yas.
Boy, you better.
All I know is I'm in and out. I'm gonna be in and out. So
Well, we're talking about a conspiracy theory that Vince McMahon actually owns AEW and has been making competition for the
man, if you'll shut the fuck up with that bullshit.
so
That's
that's
my first my first reaction. Man, if you don't shut the hell up with that bullshit.
now. And we were also talking about a dream match. Hydro Vikingo versus Tiffany Newton.
I mean, at least it's happening. I mean, it took to the end of COVID for it to happen, but better late than never,
I mean, what's the point of a dream match if you don't know what one of the guys in the match is or who he is?
right? I mean, considering that I just watched this team called Fair Dickinson beat Purdue in the NCAA
You,
tournament,
you mean Fairleigh Dickinson?
Fairleigh Dickinson, yeah, that team. Considering I seen that happen, hey, an upset can happen anytime, homie.
Alright. Now, let's see. Somebody we haven't heard from in a really long time. Francine. Is ordering a cease and desist on WWE for using the moniker Queen of Extreme for Liv Morgan. Um, I mean, she had been the Queen of Extreme for what, like 30 years? So, I mean, it's
And
only right, I suppose.
I mean, so was Jenna Jameson, but what's your? I mean, does she have the the copyright on it?
I believe she's getting it, or she had it.
Then it ain't gonna work because it's the same thing with
The now.
DDP trying to sue Jay Z for the diamond symbol. That didn't go over so well. So it's the same thing. Unless you have it already, it ain't gonna hold up. And I'm sorry y'all hear me with these people in the back, but you know, a bus ride and a divorce ain't gonna keep me from this show.
I got 33.
Bingo.
34?
I 65, I 85. I know.
I
What?
was still gonna,
24/7.
I was gonna say 24.
Oh 69. Oh 69. Bingo. No.
Um, now, going back to AEW news. Of course, AEW is getting a dirt show. Um, besides the backstage pass one. Um, is this too much AEW content? Or are they barking up the wrong tree? Or are they spreading themselves too thin? Or do they have enough talent, enough of a roster to actually fill in three shows? You know, two of them that nobody is technically going to watch.
I mean, they have the base that's gonna watch it regardless. So that's what it's for. And maybe the base could lure the other people into doing it, into watching it. Because to me, All Access sounds like All Divas.
Mm,
You remember All Divas? The
mm,
so yeah, that's what reminds me of. Except All Divas was actually low key. All Divas was like lit, but we'll see what All Access does. Oh
Um,
no, Total Divas.
Divas,
Total
yeah.
Divas. There we go. Total Divas. Total Divas low key was lit.
I mean,
Because it actually had some shit where it was like, oh shit. That actually made sense. What the fuck was going on?
I mean, at least Tony was led to being able to see Nikki Bella do a pole dance for Artem whatchamacallit.
Yeah, Total Divas let me get engaged. So hey, I can't knock it.
Was it Total Bellas?
Yeah, that's like it became Total
The
Bellas. Then
spinoff. The
Nikki then
spinoff.
then Nikki Bella says I do, and then John Cena says I don't,
And Brie Bella says, I'm done.
and
Um,
then
Pretty
we're
much.
not, we're not Bellas anymore. We're just Garcias.
and we'll talk about that
Which
later
means
on.
they're going back to the Salinas roots, baby. El Centro. They from El Centro, low key. I don't know. I'm be acting like they going back to the hood with them names. But anyway.
If AEW does put a live wrestling show on, is what channel it's going to be going to make a difference?
I
True
mean,
TV.
it seems like AEW is really trying to invoke that WCW feeling, where you had you had Saturday night, uh, you also had Sunday, early evening, but then you had like midnight on Saturday going into Sunday, and the trying to stay up to watch WCW Worldwide, because there was shit that was happening on Worldwide that that wasn't even being like reported on. I mean, it's it's that old school feeling. Um, if if AEW had, and I can't believe I'm saying this, had a media presence on a grander scale and not just churning out content as if it was a production line, maybe it's a good thing. Uh, what's the nature of this show? Is it like going to be a 1 hour retrospective of the week with a couple like exclusive matches, like All American Wrestling, or is it going to be just a live version of Dark or Dark Elevation or Advanced Darkness or Into Darkness, Heart of Darkness, Part 6?
Um, I mean, are they at the point of I don't know, but it's just the more content that they have out there, they're thinking people it will just attract more people at this point.
It depends because these shows are meant for the people who are the AEW base. So AEW base kind of cares about the wrestling and the backstory. Name me a casual person who's like, yeah, I want to see what happens between Ember Moon and Ruby Soho backstage.
It seems like they're not they're barely holding on to that group at this point. If we're talking, okay, Dynamite has its viewers, and it's gonna maintain that, except unless there's a major event or a holiday. We know that Rampage can't hold on to um a solid rating for these shows. So just adding on to that, is it just a never losing battle? That's what I kind of feel. I mean, if this was a YouTube show and you're just saturating the algorithm with Rampage, Dynamite, dark elevation, then yeah, that's gonna work. But you're on a cable TV network. Well, you can be passed by literally anybody. Dots. What are your thoughts?
Um, I'm not sure if you got what my thoughts were on. It seems like AEW's trying to capture that old school feeling of WCW or
Yeah.
even WWE when there was you know there was always some hour of programming that a lot of younger fans kind of formed their schedules around, and whether it be Mania on Saturday morning, Superstars at noon, Saturday night on Saturday nights, the main event on Sundays, WCW Pro on Saturday morning, Sunday morning, WCW Worldwide on midnight and the weekends. Um, it's it's that old school feeling, which honestly I don't think really applies as a standard anymore, given the age we're in, where you know any time of the day can be that time where you decide to, oh, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna watch this for an hour, and just be like that's that, and that's applicable to both television and the internet now. Um, so is it more of a case of AEW thinking they're being innovative by creating so much content, or is AEW wearing out their welcome by oversaturating a market that they're just have been in for less than half a decade?
You know, it's hard to say because okay, you got Dynamite. It's a good. It's well, depending on what week you're on, it's a good quality show for 2 hours. All right, then you have Rampage, which is the add-on that it not a lot of people actually watch, mainly because it's taped.
And it's an hour.
I feel more on the lines of because it comes on after SmackDown at 10 o'clock on a Friday.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 10 o'clock on a Friday is. I mean, if it were on a an over the air network, I could see that being the case. I honestly, I think Rampage would really serve better on a different day. Quite honestly, um,
And
or,
now,
or,
oh,
or even
oh,
or even 7 p.m. time slot.
I mean, it was on because of the basketball game the other day. It was on at 8 o'clock, but technically like 8:30, but 9 o'clock because the basketball game went over. Um, so I mean, it did, but there was nothing on to record it that indicated that it was actually on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's one of those shows that kind of gets jerked around if there's something better available on that in that time slot. Um, Now we're getting uh the all access or backstage pass or whatever they call it,
Yeah, all access.
all access. Um, it. I mean, okay, great. but it seems like this is going to be, you know, another wrestling program. Not that's not associated with backstage things.
Well, it's supposed to focus on one wrestler per episode.
Oh no, I mean the new George show that we're getting.
Oh,
Not
oh.
That's not Access. That's primarily pro wrestling.
I mean, honestly, they should probably just say, okay, we'll take Rampage to 2 hours instead of saying, oh, we're going to produce a third show.
Ha- I'm honestly that and maybe put it on a Saturday rather than a Friday.
Well, Saturday, then it's the potential of competing with WWE pay-per-views.
Yeah, yeah, you're right about that.
I mean, I would say, if you could, I would say, screw it. Do Dynamite on Wednesday, do Rampage on Thursday.
So back to back.
I mean, WWE did it for a while. I mean, there were days where it was 4 days on, 3 days off. Yeah, and while AEW is like trying to be the company that cares about the health of its talent with all these shows, you can only stretch your talent so far before they need some time off. I mean,
I mean,
I'm
at this
surprised,
point they're getting forced time off because they keep getting injured.
or they're about to take off, and then somebody else gets injured, and they decide to carry the company on their back. I'm still waiting for Moxley to take his time off.
Right.
Uh, I mean, does he hate changing diapers that much?
I don't know what Renee's got going on.
I mean, I mean, are they? I mean, have the Outcast started a daycare program or something?
Did they get fined for that too?
Yeah, but they didn't have the correct license for that. I mean, at this point, AEW needing, and they haven't even said how long it's going to be.
Or really anything? There's really no information other than there will be a dirt
The
show,
the
and that's it.
the only thing I can think of is, I mean, unless they're planning on splitting themselves, the only way I could see a third show succeeding if it focused solely on the women's division.
That could actually work. It, but on the opposite end of that spectrum, the women of AEW, whenever their segments come on, the ratings do dip, whoever it may be, notwithstanding Britt Baker. So would that essentially be setting that show up for failure if it's only the women?
Mm. I'm not sure. Maybe if you don't set it up as a as a
I
as
mean,
a
when
yeah,
Soraya
I mean,
called the crowd, a bunch of neckbeards, he wasn't exactly inaccurate of that statement.
maybe you don't exactly set this up as a third show. Maybe you brand it as a limited series. AEW is always doing tournaments and whatnot. Hey, you know what? Hey, give the tournaments and their own block of programming. Let that let that be dedicated to strictly the idea of competition.
I don't know. It just seems like, however you look at it, it's not exactly a good idea. It's not exactly a good idea. Obviously more exposure for the guys is great, but then you have it would have to be for the guys that aren't getting exposed. Um, if it's just another hour of MJF running his mouth off, then I mean, what's the sense?
Yeah.
Again, just seems like a losing battle at this point. Um, alright. Uh, it was, no, we'll save that for afterwards. Um, yesterday, the day before, however, depending on when you're listening to this, um, from a current LMW star, former Impact and, star Davey Richards, retired. Yeah,
Air
he,
quotes, air quotes.
air quotes, yeah. He essentially, okay. So this is the situation. There's allegations on him that he's in an abusive relationship. Um, More than a few companies have cut ties with him, so he canceled himself and took himself out of the equation and out of the picture. Um, I don't know if it's true or not. I've always been more of a wait and see type of situation. Is it is it maybe the smart decision to take yourself out of the equation, or some would just say that it's an admission of guilt.
Um, it's a very, it's a very, very thin line to tread. Because okay, yeah, okay, he might think he's like doing something that will lessen the blow of this by you know retiring until everything gets settled. Which, let's face it, it'll never get settled. Um, uh, I mean, he does break. Uh, he does break kayfabe, and gives his actual name. It says to look in under Missouri's case system and see that there are no charges filed against him. Uh, uh, he does explain that the picture of his wife's eye is from is from training, and um, given that this is the first I think we've heard about Davey Richards, I I really want to judge slowly, but the way the business is, he's guilty first and innocent later.
Right. Unfortunately. But honestly, that just, sucks. That's just the mentality of the way culture is nowadays. Um, I'm not entirely sure if canceling himself was maybe the right way to go, but definitely taking himself out of the situation, I suppose, is. I don't know. It's an odd situation. Nothing like we've seen in the past, no?
I mean, who who is accusing him of domestic abuse anyway?
I'm
Is it his wife?
not entirely sure.
See, that's the point, and this is where I side with Davey. He's trying to get ahead of this by not letting anyone else spin the narrative that he's that his actions are an admission of guilt or a denial of guilt. He's simply removing himself, from the spotlights he's under, and he's hanging hopes on common sense prevailing.
That doesn't
Uh,
always necessarily mean that it does.
no, in fact, far from it.
Hmm.
Uh, Yet until somebody else comes in with to substantiate uh, accusations, I'm saying that uh, this is the power of mob mentality, and someone sees a black eye of your significant other. They don't care how. They just know that it's there,
Right.
and no, there's no other way to get a black eye aside from domestic abuse. That's unfortunately the world we live in. That we've gotten better at trying to overcome cancel culture, but we still got a huge way to go. Because for every one person that tells the truth, there will be 10 people that will lie about it.
I believe the correct term is selective outrage.
Interesting. Okay, I like that. I like that term.
And for everyone involved, I hope that this isn't true. And yeah, that's what I'll leave that. Alright,
Uh, I mean, nobody's accusing you know Danhausen's pectoral muscle of being abusive, and because that's been torn.
I think
See how you can put a spin on everything.
well, I mean, he could probably say that it's abusive because, it
Yeah,
has a mind of
yeah.
its own and its course.
My body, my body's being abusive, and I get some hamburgers, and it'll all be fine.
I could say that every time Danhausen is on my TV, he's abusing my eyeballs.
You can't see it, but I'm cursing you.
Somebody else with selective outrage, the Bella twins. Now the Garcia twins. Technically, one of them is a Danielson twin.
That would, don't go there, please. Otherwise, we're gonna end up on the incest section of a site we don't want to be on.
I'm not going anywhere. I was just saying that her name is. She's a Danielson twin.
Yeah, who's married to her twin brother Brian. And
No,
don't they have a brother named Brian?
David, maybe? Well, I know there is a Bella brother.
Or is it Patrick?
There's Johnny Bella.
People power.
Isn't it Bella Powell?
No, actually, for Johnny, I think it's peephole power.
Oh. Um, yeah, the Bella twins are no longer the Bella twins.
Garcia later.
Right. Um, does the Garcia name hold any weight that the Bella name does?
I mean, maybe they'll bring in Andy Garcia.
And get a sponsor from Cherry Garcia?
Cherry Garcia for Ben Cherries. Uh, those are the only other famous Garcias I can think of.
Yeah. A lot of people are speculating that this might mean that the Bellas are going to AEW.
They're not.
I just laughed at that
Eh.
because
Yeah, they have stated officially that they're not uh going to AEW anytime soon. Uh, I I believe Nikki is still under contract with is it USA or Universal at this point or Comcast? She's going to do another season of Barmageddon, which was actually which was quite a fun show to watch.
it was.
And for some reason, they love doing Bella reality shows.
One might say that they're the new Kardashians.
Only with smaller butts.
Like I know that they're going to do a spin-off with their brother, and I believe they're getting Black China to be a part of that.
Wait, when did the Bella's brother marry Black China?
In
I know you're
Starlight,
talking about. I know you're talking about Rob Kardashian. Uh,
I'm ashamed that I even know that.
yeah, he's had like 2 kids with her already.
Wow. Okay.
Uh, on the lighter side of the news, Ric Flair still owes $41,000 for appearances.
But anything that involves Ric Flair isn't news at this point. I mean, we could talk about the whole Dutch Mantel situation, but honestly, it's just not worth it. My personal feelings on it is Ric Flair, every time he does a podcast or talks about pro wrestling, he just destroys his legacy a little bit more.
I mean, there can only be so many, like baggy clips that can hold the skin on his neck back. Uh, um, I mean, yeah, but then again, he's probably going to get a nice payday for inducting Muta.
Is he inducting Muta?
That is, he is the one who revealed Muta is being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
I know,
Um,
but
and
I
I
never
believe,
really seen that there was any real connection between Ric Flair and Muta, other
and
than there was a stocky booking.
exactly as far as I know, Muta and Flair have never had any televised matches. I mean, the person that should be inducting, I should say, the American that should be inducting Muta, it, can't because he works for the competition.
I mean, he technically could. I mean, it's only honoring somebody. It's not exactly working for the enemy, and it doesn't seem like Sting is the type of person to be. Oh well, I'm here, so I'm jumping ship. I mean, if that
Well,
was the case, he would have went to WWE back in '99, 2000.
well, I could also see if they don't go with that, I could see Austin being the one to induct Muta, because they had a number of televised matches, including a few that were in Muta during Muta's uh, the end of Muta's 93-94 run, uh, kind of around the same time Austin's WCW run was ending.
Well, it definitely shouldn't be Ric Flair. Like I said, Ric Flair needs to stay out of wrestling at this point.
Well,
Do
well,
your crush, your commercials.
oh,
I heard that he's doing, a Bella spin-off with him and Black China. Um, so do that and kind of
uh,
stay away from wrestling.
well, if if plans hold up and you've got Conan inducting Rey Mysterio,
That would be great if you did.
that's the plan. That's been confirmed.
Okay.
Uh, why not? Hmm. You know, I'm pretty sure Vampiro's not doing anything.
Does what's the relationship between Muda and Vampiro?
Hello, Dark Carnival, WCW 2000 feud with the Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah, I didn't watch a lot of WCW, right?
I mean, Muda was part of you know WCW's 2000. Sting, Vampiro, and the Human Torch match. Uh,
Was that where
Vampiro,
Sting fell off the Titantron?
no, no. Muda was involved with the whole freaking Kiss Demon stuff.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh,
but
wait a minute, Nakamura.
yes, but can you stand to watch Nakamura get through an entire speech?
I mean, when's the last time we've seen him spoke English? He might have gotten Rosetta Stone by now.
I mean, you know, and the only reason I bring up Vampiro was because I'm pretty sure there's still a lot of heat between Conan and Vampiro.
Who doesn't Vampiro have heat with at this point?
Um, Pero Agua. Oh no. Um, Yeah,
Rob
there's
Kardashian and Black China?
sure. Yeah, probably it's Rob Kardashian probably cut in front of him at Jack in the Box.
Oh, well, that's just not nice. Those lines could get really long.
Uh, God, what?
I'm surprised you even
What?
know what Jack in the Box is.
Uh, yeah, fuck you. Yeah, just because I'm an East Coaster doesn't mean I don't know what fucking Jack in the Box or In and Out is.
Well, I
Believe
mean,
me,
have
I've
you?
had a 4x4 animal style.
I'm not interested in hearing about your personal life, Scooter. You heard me
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Well, then you can hear about my French fries.
You put them in the milkshake.
No, that's just stupid. Uh,
What are we
I
talking
do,
about?
I do wrap, uh, a nice warm French fry in a nice, cold piece of lettuce. The crescendo of hot and cold. I love that. Um, while we're on the subject of the Hall of Fame, uh, WWE looking to limit the size of the Hall of Fame classes uh, every year from now on, presumably to uh, not have to do another red carpet esque and something where they can transition immediately uh, after the SmackDown before WrestleMania.
Nobody
Uh,
wants to watch a 2 hour SmackDown and then a 3 hour Hall of Fame.
oh, come on, don't tell me you wouldn't watch 2 hours of Mr. T talking about his mama.
Yeah,
It will always go back to Mr. T and loving your mama. You love your mama, I love your mama. Do you love your mama? I love mama. Um, I mean, we do know that Batista will not be a part of the Hall of Fame class again.
this is like the longest running Hall of Fame induction ever.
This is starting to get a level of for those of you who know soap operas, Susan Lucci was a soap opera actress who still acts on soap operas, who spent many years being nominated for the same category in the soap awards,
Wasn't it like
and
21 years?
I think it was 29
Yeah, it was either 29 or 31.
until until she won. I remember when she won, but this is getting on that level. Like, you know, I mean, eventually, if it becomes a voting system, question: what will Batista win first? What will Batista get first? A Hall of Fame ring or an Academy Award?
He's been doing some great shit in acting as of now, so, it might not be out of the realm of possibilities that he gets at least a nomination at this point.
Mm, I mean, yeah, his role in Knock at the Cabin is quite quite entertaining, especially since he's you know playing a member of the stable he wished he was a part of.
And then down the line, you could do Batista versus The Rock at WrestleMania the next time they go Hollywood. Because The Rock is never getting an Academy Award. You bastard, you got an Academy Award before I did.
I mean, hell, I mean, I mean, if Zelina Vega, continues to play AJ Lee and Fighting with My Family too.
And I mean, Stone Cold might get an Emmy because he only does TV at this point, just for being him.
True.
Don't pretend like you're not going to watch Stone Cold Takes on America.
Oh, if I come across it while I'm changing the channel, sure.
Then right after that, Total Garcias. That's a good question. Does Total Bellas become Total Garcias? Do they get their own show that's not produced by WWE, or does all of that go
No.
away?
That is a total Garcia. Uh, I mean, yeah. I know clearly. The trademarks uh, still belong to
The
the
WWE.
the WWE. Um,
So Total Bellas goes away.
yeah, basically.
Does somebody else pick them up, or do they
They
just
no,
do
they
Gargano
couldn't.
brand as they the Garcia brand as they call it?
I mean, both Nikki and Brie have branched out with their own, companies based on, Bree's is based on her kids. Nicole's is whatever the hell's her is.
I believe it's a child.
No, there's another. She's got her hands in some business.
Yeah,
Um, Bree and Brian have the health conscious clothing line
but
and I think it's moving into dietary um
so they're not
needs.
wanting for money or more exposure.
Yeah, I don't think they'll have a problem with that. Like, hey, oh yeah, you're the guy from Dancing with the Stars.
Hmm.
Yeah,
But
you're the guy who forced the guy to get married when his parents were still trapped in Russia, Ukraine.
we've been talking about who inducts Muta into the Hall of Fame. Does it make sense to put the Great Muta into the Hall of Fame, considering he's never had a WWE match ever?
Well, I mean, there have been plenty of uh people who were inducted who never had a WWE match.
The Rock and Roll Express.
Not true. Survivor Series '93. Rock and Roll Express against the Heavenly Bodies. I mean, it was for the Smoky Mountain Wrestling Tag Team titles, but the Rock and Roll Express did wrestle on Raw around then as well.
Alright, fair enough.
In fact, that the only title to change hands at the '93 Survivor Series were the Smoky Mountain Tag Team titles.
That's a bit of trivia for you.
I mean, when you have over a 500-day reign as champion, God, what I, I mean, yes, I mean
I mean, it's not like he
Hogan.
doesn't deserve it.
No, I mean Hogan's pushing for the Rougeaus to get in. I mean, I could see Ray Rougeau getting in that the the mentionables class. Because my first exposure to Ray Rougeau was not as a wrestler, but as a broadcaster. And then he did the French, was on the French commentary team.
Right.
And my actual first exposure to Jacques was not as the Mountie, but as part of the Quebecers.
The Rougeaus were the ones that had the issues with with Dynamite Kid, right?
Yes, Jacques Rougeau is the one that had, who got the roll of quarters and decked the Dynamite Kid.
Isn't Jacques considered, not exactly a great person in the world of pro wrestling?
I mean, put it this way. When you can get Hogan to job to you on your retirement show, that says something. I don't think it's a matter of personal of, a personal opinion. I think it's a matter of Jacques didn't take any shit.
Right. And I mean, and you could definitely make the argument that Dynamite Kid was not exactly the easiest person to get along with.
Oh, by far, he was not. Thank you, Vice.
They made a Vice on him? Really?
On the Dynamite Kid?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and Jacques Rougeau was a big part of it.
Okay. I mean, it's not like the Rougeaus won't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, but I just thought it might have been an issue like in Arn and Tully, not Tully, Arn Anderson and what is his brother's name?
Ole?
Ole. Arn Anderson and Ole Anderson situation.
Who aren't really brothers to begin with. But Jacques and Raymond are really brothers.
Not that Arn and um.
Arn Anderson's real name is Marty Lund.
Well, you couldn't afford me.
Ole Anderson's real name is Ole Anderson. Ole did compete with another Anderson, his actual brother Gene Anderson.
I know that there's a couple of Andersons.
Yes, the CW, which failed to preteens.
Carl Anderson.
Who is an Anderson, but not a scissor me, Daddy Arn.
You got
Oh, Billy Gunn versus Sid. Scissors on a pole match.
You'll poke your eye out, kid.
Now he'll poke Arn Anderson's eye out. And the Rougeau brothers had, I think, one of the most catchiest themes when they were going through their All-American gimmick.
All American Boys. Oh, God, take that off before we get sued.
America! All American Boys. It's such a great hook. Yeah, still, I mean, Demolition needs to be in. Let's make a promise to finally reunite Demolition and Black China so we can go get our Jack in the Box and not get a black eye from Eddie Edwards.
Speaking of all of that, Bray Wyatt may not be making it to WrestleMania. Um, Depending on who you ask, it's a physical injury. I call bullshit because he's only had one match in like 6 months. What's Why does Bray Wyatt do this?
Uh, I think we're being misled.
I mean, he hasn't been on SmackDown TV for the last 2 weeks, and Bobby Lashley.
It's I think I think it's Lashley who's injured.
No, I believe Lashley's fine.
I mean, why they wanted to do Lashley and Wyatt when they could have done Lesnar and Wyatt.
Lesnar didn't want to work with Wyatt.
I mean, he wanted to work with him years ago.
I mean, that was like 10 gimmicks ago. I mean, he was still Swamp Thing, Bray Wyatt. He's been the Fiend. He's been Playhouse. He's been the Swamp Creature. He's
Uh,
been Uncle Howdy. He's been the pre-exorcist, ex-exorcist. Um, like literally, he's been Alexa Bliss at this point. Like, I can understand what Brock is like. That don't work for me, brother, anymore.
but yeah, so I can't wait for that memorable match he'll have with Edward James Olmos.
Uh, well, yeah. I mean, it didn't look that bad on Raw.
No, I mean it will go 5 minutes.
When has Brock Lesnar had a match that has gone longer?
That didn't involve a tracker. Shit.
Let's just leave that there. But
Oh my God! I can't believe what we're overlooking. Um, yeah, AEW's doing house shows.
didn't we talk about that?
I don't think we did.
Not this week on the show, but
But no, they're their first house shows this week. In fact, depending on when you're listening to this, uh, earlier tonight, from Troy, Ohio. And they actually have a decent looking legit setup. On this at this event, let's see, Ethan Page defeated Sean Dean afterwards. Page issues an open challenge, which is answered by Hook, who probably defeats Ethan Page. Oh my God! Jeff Jarrett defeats Brian Pillman Jr.
that'll put asses in seats.
Ruby Soho defeats Hollywood Haley.
Oh, Haley J.
Uh,
You might know
after
the mother-daughter chuckle.
uh, after the match, Sky Blue enters and
He's
attacks
actually finally
Soho.
got out of wrestling purgatory.
Uh, there's an in-ring promo from Tony Khan. Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy defeat the Butcher and the Blade, and oh my God! Oh no! Oh God! In the match that was fourth from the main event, the man who trained me against the man who's in charge of the school we hate doing business with.
You're saying that Pat Buck wrestled Kichimoto?
Yep,
I don't
and
think so.
lost.
So they're saying that the Nightmare Factory is better than Creative Pro.
Yeah, and to see oh my god, Pat's gear. Oh my god. How much money he must have spent on that. It's so detailed, and he's never gonna fucking use it again. I mean, they sold a lot of pillows at the concessions during Pat's match. I love Pat to tears, but the man, Captain Charismaless, uh, Powerhouse Hobbs retains the TNT title over Christopher Daniels. Britt Baker defeats Anna Jay. Main event. Oh boy. Claudio Ida Canoli and John Moxley defeat Big Bill and Lee Moriarty.
Wow. That
God,
is the
it's
most lopsided main event.
I mean, it's sounding like WCW house shows already.
Oh my god.
Oh God, can we please stop torturing ourselves now? I don't think there's anything else. Is there?
There's one bit of news. The Fatal 4-Way showcase for WrestleMania. Well,
Is it news? Is it really?
what we'll probably be calling this is the P-Break match.
Uh, I mean, you probably say more that looks like we are getting Sammy and KO versus the Usos for the tag titles.
They're not going to be in the showcase, thank God.
Yeah, they're just going to be in the title match.
Which is probably one of the marquee matches that could rival Charlotte and Rhea for night one main event.
Well, given that, I would not be surprised if. Okay, let's see. Logan and Seth is confirmed night one. Um, Roman and Cody's confirmed night two. Finn Balor and Edge is Hell in a Cell. Um,
Could that
eh,
could that main event night one?
I think it might, just because uh, it. I mean, yes, there have been mid-card Hell in a Cell matches at WrestleMania before, but never at the two-night version.
Right.
That last Hell in a Cell was 32, and the first WrestleMania remakes. But
I'm so sorry.
I mean, and everyone is expecting Charlotte or Rhea or Asuka and Bianca to main event night one.
Well, Oscar and Bianca is definitely not going to main event anything at this point.
Yeah.
The build has been lackluster at most.
Uh, and for that, I'd say the same. I could say the same is for Charlotte and Rhea too.
Definitely a
But
better build up than definitely Bianca and Oscar.
I mean, they're. I mean, she Rhea is being stuck as being Dom's, Dommy. Uh, you know, the top to Dom's power bottom. More than she is the one who won the Royal Rumble. But
I mean, the problem I've seen with Rhea recently was that she was poised to be the number one contender and one of the bigger names on the card, and she was holding herself to that standard. And it just seems that every time she gets in a ring with Charlotte, Charlotte shows her why she's just not ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Um, I mean, we know that Cena in theory is likely going to open up night two.
What about these showcase matches? Obviously
Um,
nobody's expecting anything of these matches whatsoever. Could this be a good way to bring in, or bring back at least, Randy Orton and Riddle?
um, see, last I heard, Riddle is being kept off TV for reasons,
Many reasons.
many reasons. The reasons where you gotta kind of pee in a jar. Um, and if you miss, well, that's an immediate suspension. Um, I, I kind of hate to say it, even though I like seeing RK Bro. But if you've seen any recent pictures of Orton, Orton's looking the biggest he's ever been.
I mean, he looks
And,
great, but when has Randy ever not looked great?
and if they're not going to pull the trigger on Orton beating Flair's title reigns now, then it won't ever happen. I think Orton, when he comes back, it's a singles run, and then that's it. He's coming in. He's eclipsing a 20-year career. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna say that we're not gonna get a Cody Roman rematch. In fact, Cody's first defense is gonna be against Randy.
So we're completely eliminating Riddle from the situation. He's done.
Uh, I mean, for now, I mean, until he, uh, gets Otis and becomes Brodus.
All right. Well, we shall see. Um,
Okay. But this is like what they did for WrestleMania 20 when they didn't have any uh storylines for tag teams. They all got thrown into the tag title match.
well, yeah,
Now,
but they were for
unfortunately,
titles, so I mean, it meant something.
I but calling this a showcase match, just you could have made these the battle royals.
The Andre the Giant, men's and women's battle royal.
Yes, the Andre the Giant Memorial Women's Battle Royal. Andrea the Giant, his hidden twin sister.
Well, I mean, it's better than just women's battle royal.
Well, yeah. Now you get to think of Andre the Giant in drag.
Okay then.
You're welcome.
Well, that will conclude.
Oh, and one final thing. Cameron Grimes is looking a lot leaner and a lot less hairier. Um, which means he is expected to show up on the Raw after Mania.
That's fantastic. It's been a long time coming for that guy.
Yep, and he will go to the moon, where he will promptly be mooned by Black China.
And that will conclude this interview. This
Yes.
episode.
Oh man, I love it. Thank you for having me, James. Ah,
This will conclude this episode of Wrestling Wit. Um, Join us next week as we do a full preview of WrestleMania Night 1 and 2. No NXT because who gives a shit about that? Um, if you like what we're doing, first and foremost, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, or on YouTube and Castbox. Of course, this was sponsored by Wolf Energy and Player One Coffee. Uh, Join us this Tuesday and Wednesday as we interview Jenny Santana and Anthony Andrews. Follow the show at Wrestling with Eva on Twitter and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. And now you can also comment on the show or give us suggestions on YouTube in the post section. What do you want us to talk about? Post it, and we might actually do it. God knows we've talked about more off-topic things than you're going to suggest.
yes, Black Cambodia. Oh no. Ekru Zimbabwe. No, damn it. Oh, what's her name? Damn it.
And this just in, John Cena apologizes to Black China in Mandarin. Yes. Don't look at it. Don't look for it. But no, he didn't.
Just take our word for it.
Yes. You can follow me personally at JamesJ993 on Twitter. Where can we find Scooter?
As always, find me on Twitter at ScooterDust, and my newest single, 11 Teen Kills, drops the 5th of Never. The remix for WrestleMania is still up in the air. Literally, it's going to come down to the last hour whether or not I decided if we're going to do it or not. It depends on whether or not I've taken my meds. And of course, revel in all my Twitch antics along with Rico, Constantino Jr., and the rest of the Smoking Dragons clan. Twitch.tv/Smoking Dragons.
For Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Send Black China in!
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.